Libra, this is your April 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. It's Romy here. Thanks so much for taking the time to tune in to my channel. So we're going to open up this cosmic conversation with the energy of strength. I think there is a deliberateness and a decisiveness actually to the quality of April and how you approach it. And there's a resolve that is going to ensure no matter what gets thrown at you, how many redirects come in, how much things feel like at times they're going a bit haywire, you are standing strong and really having the courage of your conviction, because there's a need right now for an accelerated change in your life. And I think you're really coming to terms with that more and more. And I think you're looking for April to deliver some tangible results. And in fact, as we are going to welcome the full moon in your sign on the 5th of the month, you are set to see something coming to fruition. And I think it's been hard fought. I think you may even have a few battle scars from the journey that's taken to get to this point. But nonetheless, there's a moment of recognition and a deep sigh of relief, actually, I see kind of coming through in the energy of April, even though at times it's going to feel incredibly complicated and that you are sort of having to manage and navigate and sort of hold like multiple situations, multiple truths, multiple practical kind of challenges at any given moment. Yeah, now we're going to open up the month with Mercury squaring Pluto, which does make for a little bit of a provocative conversation or some challenge in terms of the communication. Of course, that is approaching your full moon. So even though you're in an energy of empowerment and seeing something come to fruition, it may also mean for some hard conversations that need to take place, because I think you're genuinely looking for a change in regards to a connection. And because this is a month where I see, in fact, lots of new people coming through, and perhaps one significant person showing up that is meant to be on your path, whether that comes in romantically, professionally, platonically, there's just like the significance of their presence. And I think one of the things that they're going to be able to do is to show you perhaps how ill-matched you've been previously with someone, or the relationships that have been around you. And that's going to support you in perhaps making some more clear decisions about what also might need an adjustment. There's this sort of feeling of a high tide coming in and emotions rising up, but it will lead to either a solidifying of something or a parting of ways, if you like. Now, the Seven of Cups comes in, there's a little haze and confusion with all that cloud energy, and yet you're sat on top of the clouds. And you're showing your decisiveness and your deliberate intentionality of saying, no, I know what's important this month. I know what I'm aiming for. I know what I'm looking towards. And even if you find yourself having to start over, you remember, Libra, that you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from a place of profound experience. And so the catch-up quality or being able to kind of make, gain ground and really see results coming through for you this month is something that I'm really sensing into with the energy for you. Now, regardless of how tricky that beginning part of the month may be, or even what comes to light around the full moon that may cause the ruffling of a few feathers, we do have a kind of soothing antidote coming in on the 7th, where Venus and Neptune come together. And I think this is really the overall theme I see playing out for April, which is it has these profound, intense, kind of stormy moments, and then there's the calm, there's the sort of reconciliation, the soothing, the sort of being able to find some healing and some respite. And through that experience, it is kind of helping to carve out this deeper sense of strength and resolve within us. Now we make our way towards the 10th, and we're going to see Venus shifting signs from Taurus into Gemini. And here, again, from a negotiation perspective, this is going to serve you really well. So anything that's going on that you're motivated from a heart place. And remember, Mars in Cancer now is really saying if we're going to take action, we have to believe in it. We have to feel emotionally safe in the progression of what it is that we're trying to achieve. And the Nine of Cups suggests that there's something that, you need to come at from a heart-led perspective. Now, no one person is going to be able to have the exact formula for you in terms of how to navigate the complexity of your individual situation. So I think there's a case where you're going to have to pull from many sources, but from that it's almost like you're able to then piece together something that makes sense for you and puts you in a strong position when you're trying to negotiate for your wants, needs and desires. You come from a place of real empowerment in that energy. And then as we approach the 11th of the month, we've got this really beautiful auspicious date. The Sun is conjunct Jupiter in Aries, your 7th house, along with Venus trining Pluto. So there's something exciting, something igniting around that time. And regardless of the trickiness of where you may find yourself or what it is that you're dealing with, I think there's an upside to what you see coming in around that time of the month. Now, you might also want to think back to April of 2011, a few years ago, but nonetheless, the last time Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries, to see if there's anything significant that sort of jumps out at you, okay? Of course, this month, we are making our way towards the second new moon in Aries, Act 2. And it's also coming in as a solar eclipse at the critical 29 degrees, meaning very fated in terms of kind of sealing the deal of whatever was initiated and kicked off back in March around that 21st on the equinox energy. So you should have a clear indication, and yet of course eclipse energies also bring a few surprises and revelations to light, and these mean big personal changes, and often eclipse energies are non-negotiable, if you like, so we have to sort of consider and anchor in, if you like, and be prepared, I suppose, in some regards for all eventualities. The Ten of Wands comes through as we talk about this, so the heaviness of that energy might feel a little bit draining for you. You might have a little bit of extra pressure going on around you at that time. But what I do want to say about this is, look at all the flowers that are coming through. This has been something that's been worth fighting for, worth investing in, worth putting your time, energy and attention towards. Sometimes, we have to just kind of get down and get on with it to be able to kind of really see what we're capable of and to unearth the potential in something. And what I want to say is that just around that time, even though you might be feeling a little bit like, oh, what's the point, or am I going to get where I need to be, or am I going to see the results I'm looking for, or the change that I want to witness in this situation, this person, I think then something is about to come in around that time that has your name written all over it, because I then just feel like this springing into life or into action. And it may be in that moment there's a little bit of a chaotic haywire energy, because you've been sort of carefully balancing everything here, and all of a sudden you see something that unequivocally is right for you, and then it sort of almost brings about this like powerful, dynamic, earth-shattering shift and change, and so there's a bit of chaos as perhaps you even sort of let go or cast aside, things that you thought were important or meant something in favor of what you absolutely trust and see and feel with every fiber of your being is meant for you. So, that in and of itself is going to cause a little bit of potential sort of chaos and conflict in your own emotions. However, I still feel like this is a month where it's time to lighten your load. And your life is changing beyond all comprehension right now. And even if you're not fully witness to that, you will be as we continue to move through the weeks and months of this year. Your whole reality is being blown wide open so that you can come into a brand new understanding. And I think this eclipse energy is really the beginning of quite a powerful journey that you're set to be continuing on through the remainder of this year. So as the sun comes into Taurus and we welcome that 8th house, remember this is transformational rebirth energy, it's Scorpio driven. And so there is an intensity to that, but there's also this kind of requirement to just streamline and clear out and detoxify and purge, because you've got somewhere to go. Yeah, you've somewhere to be. In fact, this month is saying, what do I want to be known for? What do I want to be known as? Anything that does not feel like it resonates with me at that deeper level, like I just can't sustain, I can't be around, I can't participate in any longer. Now, the Chariot often comes in a little bit intensely because it says, this is the direction, this is where we're going, and this is what we've got to do. And you're like, okay, can I even control all of the moving parts here? Am I even capable? Do I have what it takes? Is this even feasible or possible when I look out in the state of the world right now? And sometimes we have to understand that we're carving a brand new path. But with the cardinal energy of Cancer driving this chariot, remember Mars is in Cancer right now, if it's coming from a heart-led place, if you're passionate and ignited within the desire for it, then the opportunities are limitless and the potential is absolute. So this is against the odds. And as we come through this month and we say we need to have an open heart, we need to have an open mind, we need to be open to the help, both seen and unseen, then the Chariot tells me you're on your way and you're journeying towards something quite exceptional in your life. And, you know, this is a reminder that in April, the connections that you're forming might surprise you, the people that you come into contact with, but also the things that are being reflected back to you for deeper healing and understanding within yourself. So I think if you can realize that every time you want to speed up, the true answer is to slow down. If every time you feel you want to hold on more tightly or cling on to something, the direct invitation is to let go, then you're going to be on the right path and you're going to be on the right track. Now, we are going to have a Mercury retrograde coming in this month in Taurus. That's going to land on the 21st of the month. And of course, inevitably, that will cause a little bit of a slowdown. I think there's so much momentum that I don't see it sort of delaying things. It just feels a little bit more tricky to navigate. And in some ways, that's not a problem. I see this Mercury retrograde as having a lot of upside actually this month. Why? Because I think when eclipse energies come in, there's such big picture storylines that we can get swept up in so much of that we lose sight of the detail of things. And sometimes it's in the details that we really see the jewels and the treasure of kind of what's happening in our life. And so that retrograde energy is going to really slow you down to notice the details and to make the adjustments and the reviews, that as you're getting caught up in that bigger tidal wave of change, you know, it's still anchored into the right kind of vibration and frequency for you. And the Four of Pentacles tells me there's also a discernment and a requirement on your part to just be mindful and careful about the energetic investment across the board for you, actually, emotionally, financially, you know, in terms of wherever you feel you need to be, you ought to be, or where you feel obligated to be, and what that true cost is for you, what it's distracting you from, what it's pulling you away from. And there might be a little bit of a push-pull that you need to deal with, and that retrograde, I think, can be quite supportive in that regard. Now, this month, my guides were talking to me about positioning and bringing through seventh dimensional energies. And many of you will be working familiarly with these type of frequencies. And many of you will struggle to kind of open your mindset up to the understanding of their presence. In the seventh dimension is the angelic realm, the archangels, and notably the unicorn energy. I'm using 2 unicorn decks this month. My sacred soul support is also a guided journey to ascending with unicorns. And, you know, regardless of where you stand in terms of your understanding or your willingness to receive this energy, I would invite you to at least find a level of neutrality, because if you're blocking it and disregarding it, then what else are you blocking and disregarding in terms of what's possible for you in your life from an energetic and a bigger picture perspective? And if you are on board and you are open, then this is a month where they are showing up more than ever before, because as the world becomes more discordant and in chaos and at times feeling like it's truly broken, the light workers and the spiritual enlightened are raising their frequency more and more, and there's more light flooding into this planet. Therefore, our capacity to be able to channel and to be directly connected and communicate with the seventh dimension is greater than it's ever been. And for many of us, there's a returning to the understanding and remembrance of past lives in Atlantis, where we had these unicorn guides with us day in, day out. And so that revisiting and reconciliation with the energy that's familiar to you is really profound. So please do check out my soul journey. In the shadow, we're also focused this month upon releasing sacred vows. So again, looking at what is holding us back from an ancestral past life, family lineage perspective, and really giving yourself the best opportunity to be able to flow forward. And you have this momentum that's building, taking you directly towards something that can build this new foundation for you. And I think that really matters because it's a long time coming, Libra. Yeah. Now, we have a bit of a tricky energy coming in on the 27th. Mars is squaring Chiron, and it's one of these where it's a bit close to the bone. Yeah, so you may say something, someone may say something to you. You might find yourself wrapped up in a situation that just feels a little raw. Someone went for the jugular or the underbelly. And, it's never easy and it's never pleasant. And sometimes we have to sort of take that away and really consider what is being activated in our own wound energy and where is there more work to do in relation to that. What I will say is, in alignment with this bigger theme of April, the intensity and the discomfort of what may come up around that time, especially quite close to home, is also then going to be sort of brought back into balance on the 29th or shortly after, as Mars and Uranus kind of bring about a surprise turn or twist of events. And so you might be really not expecting the apology, the reconciliation, the sort of gesture or what comes out of it. And again, this is all about your attitude and your approach to what it is that you experience and how you take that away and really work through to release and kind of understand what it's meant to be showing you on your journey and your pathway. And that growth, that maturity will really pave the way for like a moment of sweetness to come in and kind of lift you and bring you back into a more powerful, empowered position where you're set to see some progress, I think, that will really surprise you in relation perhaps to a specific person or a specific situation that has been playing out. So keep that in mind, okay? You also have this upside of the mid part of the month, and my guides drawing me back to that, so there might be some connection going on there, okay? So you might have a little bit of a trajectory of like high and low this month, like feeling like something's on track and then it's not, and then it is and then it's not, but ultimately you're going to come out of the month knowing against the odds like this is happening. Remember what we're here for. We're here to love, we're here to be of service, and we're here to activate a profound sense of sacred remembrance. Yeah, and so as you sort of find yourself continuously trying to seek love, the invitation here is give the love and then watch what shows up for you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and clarify this main reading. If you're new to the channel, we actually pull these final 3 cards in the extended reading. We talk for another 25 minutes or so during that and just give you deeper insights into the month ahead. So the clarification will just give us the direction and any deeper insights and messages on what's going to be showing up in that extended reading. So we've got the 9 of Pentacles coming in here for you, and the 3 of Swords. Now, all the decks that I use are also listed in the comment and description box underneath, as is the links to my Sacred Soul Support Journeys, which are tools that I create to support you wherever you are in your journey. 3 of Earth there coming through. Queen of Water, beautiful. Maybe a specific Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy that's significant for you this month. We've got the energy of the Lovers coming in. 4 of Cups. Page of Fire. Beautiful. Okay, Tower's showing up here. It's Fairly standard when we're in eclipse season to see this emerging 8 of water. I think there's a sort of inevitability about the requirement to move on in some capacity in your life, because there's just too much that's waiting in the wings to sort of flow in towards you. And I think you're just looking for that change, and you're probably to some extent already kind of caught up in it. But the rebirth energy of 8th house during Taurus season, it's going to be bringing about these shifts in a fairly profound, radical way. So just going to invite you to think about a personal question right now, Libra, something that perhaps has not come through in the main spread so far. And again, we will cover that specifically. It's a month really to be at ease with the kind of wildness of life. And the more you're able to do that, I think the more you're able to really understand and comprehend what you're here for in your own soul journey and your own experience. Now, this is Life Soul Vision, which is my oracle deck. You can check this out over on my website. You'll also notice MUSINGS, which is my new book, is now out. Thank you so much if you pre-ordered. This is a curated collection of all the soul musings, astrological musings I've been sharing with the collective over the last few years. And you can find it over on my website. It'll also be on Amazon at some point coming online in April, along with a digital and audio version. So please do be sure to check it out. Okay, we have the collective heart, mirrors of the mind, earth star energy. Beautiful. Look at these unicorn oracle cards and see what wants to be shared with you. Okay, Libra. Dance, move your body to music. Okay, the connection to your physical body is really significant this month. I think there's such a restless energy and a desire to want to see movement and charge forward that it will be difficult to sit still. You might find yourself incredibly restless and the situations that you're experiencing through the course of this month, any kind of restraint, constraint, or feeling tethered to anyone or anything is just going to feel a little bit excruciating, I think, for you in the month of April. But it will lead you to be making more empowered decisions. Cosmic Emerald, this is the Diana Cooper deck. Create perfect health, access divine abundance. What's got sort of links into your physicality here as well. It's really beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, Libra. If you want to pop on to the extended, we will continue this conversation. You'll find the links below. Be sure to check out my deck and my book over on the website. You'll also find my goddess and angel reports, as well as the soul journeys. You take good care. Have a beautiful month of April. I'll see you again next time.